Hello people, how are you? Today I'm going to share you some previous past experience, like when I did a Buetian a favor. That Buetian was from 05 batch Tripoli. Her first name was probably Farhana or Farjana, and last name was probably Chaudhary or Rahman. Anyway, so thing is that when I went to Panjiri for the very first time, uh, I had to for a job, I had to go through a written test, and that day, two more people appeared. One is Farhana from Buet, and the other is a person from Jahangirnagar University. So the written test took place between the three for the three of us, and we were told to write a few MCQ questions of three different categories, like simple MCQ, multiple completion, and also situation set. So Farhan had no idea what those three types were, but I definitely had, because previously I worked for Jupiter Publications, so I already knew. But when she looked at my script, what I was writing, I just could not hide or cover it, because like I had a conversation with her a little earlier. Now if she looks at me, not me, I mean at my script, how can I possibly cover that, or how can I hide that? That would apparently look very rude. So I let her see. I thought that maybe they were going to recruit more than one person. So if Farhana qualifies, then I have no trouble. Besides, the interviewers, the people, the authority of that of Panjiri, they hinted that if all of you qualify, we shall take all of you, something like this. Upon hearing this, I was under the impression that maybe they were going to recruit more than one person. If Farhana gets qualified along with me, so what would be my problem? That's what I thought. So I let her copy. Not exactly copy, I let her have the idea what were the three types of MCQ. And she definitely was talented, since she was from Buet and also from Tripoli. So she wrote a few MCQs, and the authorities simply, when the authority had the idea or impression that that lady knows about three types of MCQs, so she definitely has some knowledge on creative, uh, creative physics or creative mathematics, these things. So creative system, okay, so she could be recruited. So instead of me, they recruited her as a full timer, and since I had nowhere else to go, in the sense that they took my interview, personal interview, a few days earlier, and I went to attend that interview in casual dress, and also when they looked at my face, they were not so much convinced. They thought I was kind of crazy person, and also they had thought maybe I previously was used to drug addiction, so they wanted to test my qualifications or my capability to write and edit contents. That's when they assigned me. How about you write MCQs for a few chapters? Let's see what is your quality of work. Then we shall consider whether we can recruit you. So I already had worked there for a few days, like 15 to 20 days. So it was kind of like, so that's why I say I had nowhere else to go, because I was in the middle of something, and whether they would take me as a full timer or a freelancer, I felt like I had to stay there. So I remained as a freelancer, a writer and editor. The first few months I did not earn that much money, because I got stuck to the MCQ part, and I did not realize that if I would deal with CQ part, like if I would be writing CQs, both questions and solutions, that would earn me a lot more money. But I thought I was in MCQ, so I should stay in MCQ. MCQ payment wasn't that bad, but since I was in hesitating, and I was, perfectionist like Bollywood actor Amir Khan, so I was slow in writing. And also, after I had written MCQs for all the chapters. Many of them were rejected, partly because they were not of that much. Not all the MCQs are of the same quality, and also Mr. Sunil, who first took my interview with another person from HR, he had a plan that he would replace Mr. Said, the in charge of physics department, with me, and Mr. Said knew about that, so he didn't take me kindly. So when he got the chance to accept or reject my MCQs, he almost got rid of 33% of my MCQs. So naturally, if 90% of those MCQs are accepted, my bill would be like more than 1 lakh taka. But he rejected almost 33%, one third of them. That's why my bill was only like 65 to 70,000 taka for after having worked for 5 months. So previously I worked for Jupiter Publications, and the payment was the fixed salary 30,000 plus overtime was 5 to 10,000 taka. So average income was 35 to 37,000 taka per month back in 2011, and in 2012, when on average for those 5 months my earning was somewhat like 15 to 16,000 taka. It could be even less. So I was very much frustrated. I was in financial distress anyway. So I should not talking about these things. I should focus on Farhana, what she did after she became a full timer. I wouldn't say she misbehaved with me, but at a point like back in 2011 December, when the creative when work was going on for the creative 910 physics book for the very first time, you know it seemed like Farhana was not very much willing to hand over many works to me. There was a policy of Panjiri that a writer should not earn more than 3 lakh taka per year. Maybe she had that thing in her mind, and maybe she tried to follow that principle or policy. But the thing is that if you do not get enough number of qualified writers and editors, then by whom will you get your work done? So actually, not only the physics department, but also other departments like chemistry, biology, they are not exactly obeying or abiding by that law. They got their job done mostly by people who were capable and who could do it better. Okay, so it was also the same for me. Mr. Abu Said, who was the in charge of physics department, he had no problem regarding this. He was willing, because by that time, after 6 to 7 months, Mr. Said started to take me kindly, so he has mercy towards me like a Buetian. Seems like he had nowhere else to go, so why not give him enough work if he is willing to do. But Farhana seemed to object that. That's why she seemed to hold back those files on many sort of pretexts, many sort of excuses. That's what I did not like, because she needed to understand that she needed to remember that I am the reason she was there. Because if she was not able to write 3 types of MCQ back in the written test of interview date, then she would most definitely not be recruited as a full-timer or a 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. job holder there, right? So this is one thing. But I wouldn't be saying that she was totally against me, but she showed a little bit of resistance. And another thing might be, say she saw that although this person, I mean, I'm talking about me, although she, from her point of view, it was maybe something like this. Although this person is a lagger and supposed to not have so much, knowledge on any subject whatsoever, but this person seems to be much more adept in physics than I am. Maybe that's how she thought. So she was annoyed that I had so many corrections in the files, because people who wrote those concepts, wrote the original answers, they came up with so many wrong ideas. I corrected them, and because of the number of corrections and all the corrections that I made, maybe she was, a kind of frustrated and annoyed with me, and that might be another reason why she wasn't that much willing to hand over those files. But I wouldn't say that she made a very big resistance or she continued that for a long time. No, she did not, because she continued resisting only for a few days, maybe 1 week or 10 days, and after that she seemed to be normal, because she realized that she was not the chief authority. The chief authority was Mr. Said Bhai, who had no problem transferring those files to me. Okay, so Farhana left Manjari in August 2013, and maybe the same month she got married. Okay, to her classmate. Okay, the chapter could have been closed, but later, I don't know what came over me. I liked her to some extent, although I was